but it's most commonly seen in poetry, essays, and formal speeches. Martin Luther King Jr.'s speeches and sermons are full of instances of anaphora. In the following example from his famous I Have a Dream address at the March on Washington, the underlined words indicate the repeated element. Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of racial injustice to the solid rock of brotherhood. Now is the time to make justice a reality for all of God's children. As a rhetorical device, or a technique that an author uses to persuade, anaphora is used for the purpose of generating a particular effect in your audience. As you can see in the example, the phrase, "now is the time to," is repeated for a particular effect. Keep in mind that anaphora can be the repetition of a whole phrase, as in Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech, or of just a single word. The opposite of anaphora, Epiphora, in which the repeated word or phrase appears at the end of successive lines, was used by Abraham Lincoln in his Gettysburg Address. It is for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Anaphora appeals to the feelings, or pathos, of your audience. By repeating a word or phrase, your readers or listeners start to anticipate the next line. They are drawn into your words through a sense of participation. Because they know what's coming next, they are more receptive to the emotional resonance you are trying to get across. You can evoke any number of feelings when using anaphora, including but not limited to anger, fear, solidarity, or even nostalgia. Martin Luther King Jr. appeals to the growing solidarity among blacks and white allies during the heyday of the American